And from Hiatus in the yellow. Yeah, so I only bring that up, the pen spinning bit. I used to play competitive Mario Kart who went to like pen spinning world championships in Germany. And that was a thing.
What?
And it's just
See,
like yeah, I just don't get it.
It doesn't surprise me that somebody who plays Mario Kart competitively would also compete in another obscure sport.
Is that a roast? Actually, okay, no,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. So I didn't. I was gonna say that like assuming the ending of your sentence, but now that you said obscure sport, yeah, of course, that makes sense. What is it? Either way, back to the game from Hiatus, middle of the zone, gets that Inkstorm out, does put a stop to the penalty here, and that's a little bit of a back and forth here, it seems, as while we do have from Hiatus here towards the objective and kind of pushing it out. Los Inklings don't really feel like they're going out too early. It feels like they are biding their time and are patient with this, so that's really promising to see.
It is weird to see from Hiatus not running any kind of true backline.
Right, yeah, this is a kind of composition mishap, especially given, I mean, you look at kind of where backlines are able to shoot from, especially towards zone and the kind of coverage they can get. It feels a little bit of a mismatch there.
Yeah, especially in the current meta, to have that backline is often really important. Anchors are incredibly important. So to be confident enough to not run one, I kind of wonder how aggressive they're going to have to get.
I mean, it looks like they're staying fairly aggressive here. Coming in on the back here. Los Inklings struggling to stay alive on top of the zones. In fact, they just straight up don't. And they're going to get taken out by the Inkjet there.
That is unfortunately a full white for Los Inklings, so we're going to see them come in a little bit more carefully with some people sharking in their base here.
Yeah, that's a good point, because, like, that's the thing, is they're so far pushed up now at this point, and thankfully Los Inkling they are cautious, but they are still going to lose one while going about getting out of their base. It did take them some time, but now we do see them kind of on the right side of the map here. Do have that backline again to support that push in that we aren't maybe able to see from Hiatus so much. But unfortunately, as they do get into the zone here, it looks like they're going to get taken down one by one. That's the double kill coming in. But someone from behind there getting onto Los Inklings, and onto Los Inklings, and it's going to be from Hiatus again, taking control of zone. I think this might be it.
They are running out of time, yeah. They're going to have to move quickly here, and if Teresa can get some good paint here...
Ooh, Lycan? Oh, dang.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because, like, you saw Lycan with the brush literally on top of zone. You also saw the bubbles that you were talking about before. Like, again, one of those games where it felt like if they just had 2 more seconds, maybe, they would have been able to turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, From Hiatus is going to be able to take that one, despite, as you mentioned, Lily, what felt like a kind of, maybe a mismatch for a composition. And I feel like that might be due to the fact that this feels like it's definitely like a pickup team here for this one.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, the nozzle nose itself plays a really good midline, and it looks like that their nozzle nose actually top fragged that last match, so that doesn't really surprise me.
Right. Well, we're gonna take a look and see if Los Inklings is able to bounce back, and frankly, it really did genuinely look like they were putting up a good bit more of a fight, and looked pretty promising to be able to get back into that match in particular. So I have my hopes up, at least, for being able to see a close bout here upcoming, especially for something like Rainmaker, I feel. And Malcolmart, where that's one of the more popular maps that is going to get a lot more active play on. These teams will probably be a lot more familiar with it.
I'm really interested to see what Teresa pulls out here, because the long-range weapons were really good in Malcolmart. Malcolmart is such a flank-heavy map that playing any kind of backline really puts you at a disadvantage, at least to that if your teammates aren't watching your back.
Right,
so,
yeah.
I'm interested to see if she pulls out another backline weapon, or if they move to something more midline.
I'm really curious, just generally seeing... Yeah, what kind of changes from game to game, and especially just because we feel like there's maybe some changes needed for one team or another. But looks like we're starting here. Rainmaker, Malcolmart getting underway, as we have from Hiatus, of course, coming off from the first game win here, and I believe in the green, as Los Inklings should be starting in the purple here. from Hiatus, of course, looking to carry up this momentum. Let's see what's happened in compositions. Teresa's staying on that back line.
And we see Jax pull up that
Right.
dual sculpture, so...
So, yeah, good looks on the behalf of From Hiatus to be able to make sure their composition is more well-rounded. That being said, ironically enough, it looks like Los Inklings are able to better establish some control here towards the beginning of the game.
Absolutely, and it looks like while Los Inklings has a lot less aggressive comp, it seems to have been working for them to get that many down, but still no pushing moving forward.
Right. Yeah, I think that's largely been because they've kind of taken people out one by one here and there, but it hasn't been enough of a resounding effort to get a push going. And I mean, the reason why they don't push it is what you just saw on your screen right there. You're only going to get a push to that pedestal, that 70-point marker, something pretty weak. So I think it's pretty smart on Los Inklings to, you know, if they don't have the right push, they're patient enough to wait for that.
Definitely, and they need a little bit more paint control here in mid before they go anywhere.
Right. Yeah, hopefully Teresa should be able to get back and, you know, really get behind their teammates here. Yeah, we do see Teresa there kind of waiting towards the back, but unfortunately, does survive there. Doesn't get the second hit mark onto them, but the Stingray is right on top of them, and they are going to get taken out, unfortunately. And
yeah, sometimes it feels like no matter where you go, that Stingray is just following you.
There are some times where it just feels like stapled to me, and it's just a very painful staple. Fun fact, I may or may not have stapled a friend before, accidentally in the first grade. Anyway, random fact, I don't know if you guys are curious in that. Los Inklings, what was it? Yeah, they're defending now. I'm down to the 16-point marker. That was wait, where did that happen? Rather suddenly, actually.
Yeah, they got the power watch picked off the back line, which allowed a push forward. So they're getting into dangerous territory here.
They are, but I have faith in Los Inklings being able to bring it back. If nothing else, being able to reset it back to neutral. We do see Rainmaker kind of in a pickle there, is taken out, and I think that's 2 to 3 people getting taken out from Los Inklings in the meantime. So they are going to want to play a little bit cautious here. Life Up still kind of in that front line in the middle. Ooh, going to super jump back.
Yeah, definitely a good choice. It looks like they're really struggling with Jax's dual sculpture here.
Right, yeah. No,
they're struggling with the approach.
It does feel like that, yeah, because even if they are getting to the middle of the map, it doesn't really feel like they have, like, they get there and they're like, oh, okay, what do we do now? We didn't really think we'd get this far, as a certain Plankton would say. But like in here with the brush leading the charge, does get the inkjet and was trying to chance on there someone being in the typical snipe spot, but isn't going to be able to get that. But they are in still such a great position. Getting it to that 40-point marker with Teresa and that inkjet behind them did help. But unfortunately, not quite enough right now. It looks like Los Inklings will have to bring it back. But yeah, job well done so far in Los Inklings being able to bring it back.
Honestly, and that gives me a little bit more hope for the rest of this match. If they can keep that up, keep that aggression up, try to keep the paint going, might be able to see them take back that lead.
So, we'll see, you know, if they are able to keep it up as they did there. And in the meantime, from Hiatus, on the left side here, they do have one person pushing up ahead with the help of an Ink Armor, but that Toxic Mist did actually hurt them a little bit. So this Rainmaker's kind of just been sitting right on the block, and it's taken all this time to get to it. Teresa able to cover the ground in front of it with that Splatling. That Toxic Mist did such damage to From Hiatus push there.
The Toxic Mist is so incredibly strong on any map where the Rainmaker has to jump. So anything with steps, anything with gaps, honestly, because you cannot jump when you're in Mist. So,
yeah, and that's the thing is Makamart, like, that pivotal part where you're jumping from that pedestal too, especially in Rainmaker, yeah, that Toxic Mist will get you. 45 seconds left to go in this one. Direct, right next to the pedestal there. That's a nice one coming in from or A. I guess A, right? But that's confusing.
Depends how much you want to scream, I guess.
Have you seen that Vine of like the battery, like the AA to AAA? Okay, I'm not gonna do it on stream, but I'm sure you could Google Vine and you'll find it. That's probably my favorite Vine out there. 15 seconds left. Do we see Los Inklings bringing it back, Lycan coming through? Do we see it, the comeback happening?
With this little time and this little paint control, I'm not honestly confident.
but they did take the Rainmaker if they are able to get the... okay, fair. Okay, no, you had the read down right. I just kind of wanted to hold that hope, I suppose.
I mean, we can always hope.
We can, it's just... I think I'm just one of the types to just hope too early, or just like hope for the sake of hoping that like my credibility in hoping for any teams is like an all-time low now.
I mean, I'm not normally the realist, so this is weird for me.
If you're, I mean, I guess we're both. You're gonna have to be the one that grounds me then in that case, because yeah. Cool. Well, that's gonna be a KO coming. Or sorry, not a KO actually this time. That is gonna be a certain score that I actually didn't track that time because I forgot we didn't get a KO this time. But it was something to the tune of, I believe, 87-60 that game. So still a much more closer bout. And I still just don't feel like the score of this set really reflects the pace and momentum of it. Because while from Hiatus, it does feel like they definitely have a better grip on this set in this game. It feels more like a 1-1 situation or a 2-1. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We're still early.
Mm-hmm. Definitely early indeed. Next up, one of our former least favorites, now an Actually, now
I like it.
Yeah, now actually pretty good.
Zones, every other mode is great. Zones is iffy now for me.
Right. Are you speaking like kind of generally, or just like specifically for the map mode combination?
Specifically for this map mode.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Just the separation of the single zone into two different ones means it's a lot harder to be able to hold them both.
Yeah.
It swings a lot more drastically than it ever used to.
Yeah. I also, yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like the two zones there, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like as great of a match for like if the environment of the space around zones, if that makes sense. Like it made a lot of sense for just one zone to be right under the bridge. Like geometrically that just made sense. But something just really I don't know, just something about two zones being there just kind of throws me off every time. Especially
the zones so close together, it's an odd choice to separate them.
Yeah. Well, either way, we're gonna have to see it one way or another. It's gonna be From Hiatus versus Los Inklings once again. And From Hiatus in the light green, Los Inklings in the pink, pearl pink, so to speak. Purple. I feel like that's a debate we could have. That is definitely a debate. I would not say it's a purple. That being said, it looks like From Hiatus able to take the quick lead, but Life Up able to actually get... never mind. That's
definitely a call out happened there, was immediately responded to.
I think they call that commentator's curse last time I checked.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's interesting to see Equal pull out the blaster. I wonder if that's in response to From Hiatus being so powerful with it.
That's actually a good point. I didn't notice that. Yeah, I mean, maybe we are. I mean, obviously Therese is still sticking on that backline role in the same weapon, but we saw that at least something changed there. So in the meantime, I mean, I think we have seen some changes on the behalf of From Hiatus' side, though. If I'm not mistaken, Jex moved on over to which gun is that again? Let's see. I'm actually not sure which player on that. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if he was the third or fourth.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so he is transitioning and changing from map to map, but either way, Los Teresa in a 1v1 with Krim there in the middle. If they are able to come out, that's huge.
Yeah, and that's almost a full wipe From Hiatus, which lets Los Inklings take back the zone and work away against that score. Hopefully we can see them take the lead here.
Yeah, there we go. Should be
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yep.
And that's From Hiatus again. They've been leading. I think that's the first lead here for Los Inklings in our first 3 games here. And again, Life Up, nice splat on top of the bridge, able to use that to be able to get a better position on the side of the zones that they do control. Does see a splashdown there, but does recognize that players will start coming soon from From Hiatus base. Is going to try to contest them, but has to back off a little bit in the midst of all that green. Does have their teammate go down and Life Up. It's looking a little bit icky here for Los Inklings.
It was a good choice to back up there, but when they all started coming in, especially with that armor, it might have been a better idea to back even further up.
Right.
Try to get some support from your teammates.
Yeah, I wonder if they were even able to like notice the armors going out or even to call it out, because I feel like exactly in that situation when you have, especially all 4 up, when that team is able to like, wait for everyone to come out, spawn, and get out of base. That's something you definitely want to respect. But yeah,
seeing the zone swing back for Lost Inklings, giving from Hiatus a hefty penalty.
Yeah, that's a hefty. That was the line of like some commercial, right? Sorry, that
I don't know.
a bit off topic. I feel like I've seen a hefty. I don't. Anyway, Los Inklings here towards the tree. Isn't a one-on-one. Isn't quite able to get the splat. Is a trade actually, and it will be Los Inklings still retaining control. This is really nice to see here from Los Inklings because I mean, yeah, Lily, correct me if you're wrong, if I'm misspeaking, but it really didn't feel like Los Inklings were in a dominating position before this game. Like, it really just felt like they were
sure
keeping
were.
up. Yeah.
This is a complete swing, I think, from the past couple matches.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to see. Especially on a map that is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, new.
Right. I mean, it's pretty fresh at this point, so it's good to see them kind of be on top of it in this regard. That being said, that is a 2v1 in the middle of the bridge up top and down below. That's going to be at least, that is going to be both zones going over to From Hiatus. So with a minute left, it looks like finally they are able to get something in their advantage. But the question remains, will those Inklings be able to bounce back? We haven't seen them in this position where they were dominating for some period of time and are called upon to respond to a change in control, so we'll have to see how they respond to this.
Well, we're seeing 2 down from Lost Inklings, which is starting to get into dangerous territory, but it looks like From Hiatus is getting their footing back here. They're starting to partner up, they're starting to take on 2v1s.
Right, and I think that is the penalty right there, but it is going to be, that is going to be one person going down. The rest of the 3 teammates respecting this and trying to get each other around each other as much as possible, but it's been broken up in the fight. They go into a team fight. That's Teresa down. That's 2 people down. Furlough's Inklings with 10 seconds left to go, and this is the perfect time. That's 3 people down, and this might be the comeback we needed to see from Hiatus, as they were able to, despite the fact that all 3 members from Los Inklings were grouped together, break that apart, split them apart, and now Los Inklings are just trying to rush back to the center.
Yeah, and we're seeing From Hiatus push up, which is really important, but Lost Inklings is taking back some important ground here. 2 down, this might be
Bubbles?
They have very little time.
Lily, this might be the first close set we've seen.
Could be it?
This is that's gonna be it for Los Inklings. They are able to take it on that game 3 and just barely hold out there. That was really impressive on their part, on their behalf, to be able to come back, because they did not have much time to do that at all.
They did not. I think they were maybe 4 clicks away from losing that lead. So that was incredibly nice to see. They definitely pulled that out in the end. They didn't panic. They came back in as they needed to, and they supported each other. It was really good to see.
Right, and that's the thing, right? Is so often in those scrambles that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's just a scramble, and like you really don't have too much control in the heat of the moment. It can often feel like so.
Yeah, and the worst you can do, especially in those lockout situations and overtime, the worst thing you can do is panic.
Right on. Yeah, hats off to Los Inklings for being able to bring that back. And I mean, we see it in the scores reflected on our mapless screen here. It is close. I mean, surely the first one was a KO, of course, but going from 87 to 60 to 87 to 83, these are high scoring and pretty close matches we're seeing here, which is great. Yeah. That being said, this is where we're going to first see tower control in the set, and curious to see if that changes how fast-paced and high scoring these matches have been, given how quick and how close these neutral exchanges really have been. I could actually see this one being more towards a mid to low scoring affair.
Yeah, absolutely. And this map in general favors mid-scoring matches, honestly. Because once you get it past that first checkpoint, you're on their snipe, which is really hard to push through.
Right. Yeah, it really is. It's going to be From Hiatus in the green and Los Inklings in the orange. As we go ahead and get settled here, looking out for any weapon changes once again, and Jax just changing it up time after time. Meanwhile, Los Inklings, I believe, something looks different, and I'm not able to put my finger to it. Help me out here, Lily.
It's the lobber.
Okay, cool.
The lobber is absolutely new.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the one that looked a little bit out of place for me, but otherwise, still more or less the same. It looks like Hiatus sure is able to get an advantage here at the beginning, but nothing too substantial, at least for now, as they did win the fight ahead of them and are now pushing that tower here. This might get complicated for Los Inklings. They really want to make sure they get out of spawn, as it seems like they were wiped at the same time, and really make sure they stay alive for this one.
Yeah, Teresa here, though, just charging the Stingray, you know that's going to come out and push them off.
Right, and that being pretty crucial here, because otherwise, without that Stingray, you're more or less kind of leaving it up to the chance of, oh, do we win this team fight? Oh, no? Okay, we're just kind of getting it to the first. They're getting to the third checkpoint.
And clearing that first checkpoint is really important, though.
Yeah.
As long as they've got that through, it makes it a lot easier to push up through the snipe and street. So we might see that turn into a bigger push here in a sec.
We might, yeah, and hopefully we do here, but ooh, the splat bomb on at least on 2. 1, it's gonna have I guess, coming in on the tower from Hiatus. And yeah, just like that, at the second checkpoint, really steamrolling through with this one. Los Inklings have not been able to find the answer they need to really, as a unit, be able to get out of base, which has been concerning. But life up here with the Blobber, that's a great weapon to have here for tower control in general.
Yeah.
Fortunately enough for them, they are able to get the splat on the tower. So, Lily, it looks like we might have a game here. Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
The problem it looks like Los Inklings is having is their comp is lacking a bit of paint if they don't get set up. But, I mean, to that end, so is from Hiatus, which is really odd. So, the key here, they're not going to be able to outpaint each other. It's going to be whoever kills the other is going to be able to outpaint the map.
As it be, sometimes. Okay, that was a nice immediate direct into splashdown into another splat. I guess that's a nice quad from coming in from Jex. Cool.
Jex just getting another. I don't even think that he knew that there was someone there.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. Like, if he says he did, he's definitely lying. But either way, Jex coming up and showing up a nice performance here. And Los Inklings, they were in a good position to start this comeback, but Jex kind of shutting that down. That being said, they are able to get onto the tower and win a fight now that Jex has got it taken care of. And once again, resetting this back to neutral. That was important, because they were in a somewhat vulnerable position after that wipe, but good to see that they were able to bring that one back.
Yeah, and the biggest thing here is that they get some map control and get some good picks. And the one here on Jex is really important, but unfortunately not going to be able to nail it.
Speaking of Jex, is on our screen and is killing some squids right now, unfortunately, for the side of Los Inklings, and now they're able to push back into the base, but are met with some defense there. Jex does get a direct onto at least one of them, but is going to have to play Teresa this flatling. Does miss the second shot, but is able to finish that one up, and all the while they were able to push that tower to the 35-point marker. Los Inklings maybe recovering now.
I mean, no one's on tower, so no one's pushing. Well, of course, as I say that, someone gets on tower, but we have life up over here putting some pressure on that, trying to give some room for their teammates to get back in.
Even though losing that one-on-one, they still were able to take out another, and at least I guess if nothing else, allowing their teammates to try to control Jex. But as we see on the top of our screen, Jex is somehow still alive. I have no idea how. Actually, it'd be cool if we could get a glimpse into how they are staying alive. But Lycan here on that tower, finally able to get rid of tower there. Somebody is going to jump onto it, but it's going to be over just like that. And Los Inklings, 45 seconds left. Lily, what's your call on this one? Is From Hiatus taking this one and securing this set? Or are they bringing it back?
I think Los Inklings could bring it back, but they're going to need to take out Jex. I don't think with him there that there's much way that they're going to get anything moving, because Jex just took out 2 of their teammates.
Eyes on Jex here. Jex was sitting underneath, and it looks like Los Teresa will be able to get rid of him. That is a good sign for them, especially with 16 seconds left to go. Jex now forced to super jump or swim back slowly. So we probably, given them disadvantage here in squids from Hiatus, or rather what used to be a disadvantage, Los Inklings in a great position now. They do have the Inkjet, but the Stingray is coming out. They're going to have to balance who they have on that tower, and with people coming onto it, it's looking pretty rough there. From Hiatus, taking that one out, 3-1. And that's going to be the game, and getting the W, of course, from Hiatus.
I really want to see what Jax got here as a KA.
I wasn't going to say it, but... Oh my god!
Yup.
Ow!
So the key to that match really was shutting down Jax, and they didn't have the weapons they were needing to restrict his movement, and they weren't able to get the picks on him to completely get him out of their base, and unfortunately led to that monstrosity.
I didn't catch the score on that one. I kind of forgot about it. That was... Wow. It's been a while since I've seen a 30 bomb in a tournament.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Hats off. Hats off to Jax.
I mean, honestly, that was impressive. It was a bloodbath, but it was impressive.
Jeez. Well, that's what you call clapping some hands. And either way, that's going to be the win on Tower Control Anchovy, and in the meanwhile, yeah, Los Inklings unfortunately won't be able to battle for the win, but if nothing else, battling for their respective right to be able to shut down Jax, and if nothing else, I mean, again, this tournament is play all 5 games, right? So the games you do get are going to matter. So definitely Los Inklings want to be able to approach this cautiously and still give it their all, which I'm sure they will do.
Yeah. Jax really is the one to shut down this next match. He pressed A pretty quickly, which makes me wonder if he's playing with the blaster again, trying to get a repeat performance here going.
Yeah. And I suppose it would make sense. Blaster definitely feels like it fits within the scope of Starfree's main stage. Often, you are oftentimes able to put yourself in mostly close range environments, so we'll see.
Yeah. And there's a lot of height here. I mean, not as much as Port, or not Port, as Moray, obviously. Mm-hmm. But there's enough height here to give Blaster an advantage when fighting opponents on a different level as you.
Yeah, and that's yeah, exactly. And that's why maybe he will see that success. Because we do see that Blaster once again coming in from Jax. Interesting enough, we do see the dualies coming out in a pair from Los Inklings. So we'll see if that choice works out for them. They're dipping and dodging, but it will be Loose Goose coming out on top of that 1v1.
It looks like Los Inklings trying to opt for the more paint, but in the process may have lost a little bit of aggression.
Right, yeah, and I think that there's an interesting distinction between the two that I feel like it's even difficult, but sometimes for the viewer or the unknowing spectator to kind of even pick up the difference between the two. How would you kind of describe, the differences between those two approaches and when to take those approaches?
I mean, it really depends. Here, especially on zones, you really want your paint. And a lot of it comes down to knowing your opponents, too. Like, picking to counter your opponents isn't always the best idea, but here where they've been seeing a lot of aggression coming out from Hiatus, they really need to try to match that aggression, and doing it with paint isn't necessarily a bad choice, but they're going to have to stay alive first.
They will have to stay alive. A Toxic Mist is a good start to that. Does get a splat onto it as well, but unfortunately it will be Loose Goose for From Hiatus taking that one. Does get something. Got a marker. Was able to track Tereza there finally. And From Hiatus still able to hold on to the zone for now, but it's not been the most easygoing match for sure. Tereza coming in from the side, or sorry, Lycan coming in from the side with that brush, was sprinting down towards the zone, but shut down in that 2v3. So this might be the last attempt at a takeover here. We see Lily. Is that Los Inklings kind of waiting for the rest of their teammates? I think it is.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Inkstorm is coming out toward the middle. Oh, we did hear the Inkjet activated, but as soon as it was them taken out. Fortunately enough for them, they are going to be able to force the penalty. Jax taken out towards our screen there, and Eagle Sign with that Dapple Dually is able to get into the thick of it all. And yep, once again, Los Inklings able to take control, but are they able to keep it up? Lycan with that brush is able to get some aggression onto the player to the left, but in the meantime, in front of us, Loose Goose able to get the splat on top of an Inkjet acquisition there, and does spot someone in the corner pleading for help, but that's going to be the end of their squid life in that round. So 34-point penalty. It's not the worst to come back from, but Loose Goose is off his sorry, off their mind there. So it's crazy, but I think mana double for Los Inklings. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Lost Inklings, they did buy themselves some time with that cap and the penalty, but they're quickly running out of time here, and it looks like a bit of panicking happening.
Life up. They have the Storm out. They were able to force over, lost control. Had to force, had to really focus on getting that splat for sure, but they were able to still keep control of zone up in neutral. They have to get the splat on right now. Oh, no. We're not able
that was such an intense fight there at the end. And managing to take out Jax, but not managing to take out the Painters. Unfortunately, lost them the zone.
Yeah, that was close. And that actually, I'm pretty surprised really that they weren't able to get control of zone because,
yeah,
they got I think they got 2 splats on top of them, right?
Yeah. One of those splats wasn't in zone, though.
Oh, okay. That's probably it then. Because,
yeah.
in my head, I saw them in zone. I saw 2 splats, and it just registered as, okay, why didn't they get it? But, yeah, that is the end of that game, at least, in particular. And that's going to be the 4-1 set, so not the clean sweep we've maybe seen in past other games before.